Hey everybody, welcome back to the live stream. I'm Christopher Dahl. Hey, it's Friday afternoon and welcome to the studio and welcome to my basement. Yes, thank you all for showing up here today. Thank you everybody. We've got another week down and all sorts of other fun crazy things happening. But hey, welcome aboard. Coming to you live from Western, very rural Pennsylvania, in the middle of summer. It's been nice so far. But hey, hope you're all having a good time. Let's see here. We're currently back in the studio, and I know I haven't painted actually the way I normally have in a while. We're going through a little bit of a process here. Hey, Rhonda, how you doing today? Good to see you on a Friday. Thank you so much for showing up here with us here today. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well there. Hope the storms didn't get you too crazy. Holy smokes. We got the end of it. I guess Indiana got a bunch, but I know Ohio was in there too. So, hey, Arts of Space, greetings. How are you doing today? Good to see you. Thank you for joining. I was preparing to apologize for not having painted so much. We will certainly be doing more of that. But in the meantime, let's get things rolling here. I'm going to kick off the music, and as always, let me know if it's too loud, not loud enough, any of that good stuff. I can barely hear it, so there we go. That's a good thing, I guess. There we go. Okay. Anyhow, so yeah, the painting. So we're kind of I'm kind of reorganizing things as usual. You were spared the worst of it, the storm. Yes. Good. Good. Oh boy. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, wasn't it? Holy smokes. It was I'm glad that we missed a bunch of it. We had some good sideways rain though, and unfortunately back in this corner, I don't think the camera catches it on the floor. There we go. Um, this is the middle wall of our basement, and unfortunately, there is one spot in the house that leaks, and I think it's because the gutter's clogged. So I think that will eliminate this problem. Oops, sorry, caught in the carpet. I think that will eliminate this problem. But whenever it kind of like rains sideways, we get a little bit of water in the basement. Um, Clears up pretty good, but I keep nothing of value on this part of the ground here. Haven't been able to catch up with the stream lately. Oh, hey, thank you. Get excited to see what I'm working on. Thank you. It's okay. Glad to have you back. I'm committing to coming and streaming on Friday, even if I'm not prepared to paint. But we got some. We, this you picked a good one. I hope. This one's gonna be ridiculous. I think. I kind of can't wait to kick things off. Oh, my water's in the other side of the room here. But hey, yes, we've been a little nutty. So I guess I'm in sort of a I keep telling people I'm in an incubation phase, right? So I'm kind of getting things spread out, for one thing, just from an organizational standpoint, and two, sort of an organizational standpoint in my own mind, which is it's always kind of a moving target, right? I think of things that I want to tackle, and then I see a bigger permutation of them and things that come together with other things. So maybe a little bit of it is a little bit of overthinking. I'm prone to that, granted, but I can't think of a specific example, right? But the videos I keep talking about are one. Just as I go along, things kind of start connecting together, and the pieces are coming together. One of the things that was kind of blocking me and blocking everything around here was that, even though we'd unpacked and filled the space to a sort of a phase one working state here in the studio, we've I have been. This is not Stephanie, right? She's definitely far more inclined to just get in and tackle this stuff than I've been. But it finally happened. My brain finally unsticks, and so given the sort of downtime I had in May, just for various reasons, I decided to just be like, okay, all right, let's sort out what we're doing here, right? And that led to some of what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, reorganizing office and that sort of thing. So I guess we're in sort of phase two of deploying the studio. That'd be the best way of putting it. So that's taking some time, some cycles, some resources. I have two commissions I'm working on, two book covers actually, which is really cool. So there's a lot of irons in the fire as usual, and I'm terrible at keeping up with things. So I guess I just have to recognize that maybe the best way for me to approach this is just be like, hey, here's this thing I'm doing right now, and here it is, as opposed to what are my plans? Because every time I plan something, it changes. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so, all right, what are we going to do today? Today, we're going to show you the results of some of this. I think if you're on Discord, you already saw the wall of models. So we're going to head over there. And, all right, let's just kick it off here, shall we? So this is going to be a little different because I've set up a pretty big portion of the live stream on the other side of this wall right here. And so I'm not going to have a lot of access to most other things. I am going to mute this microphone, though, so we don't get, like, double feedback and all that good stuff. But anyway, take it away. Firing it off in 3, 2... Okay, here we go. Let me make sure everything's operational here. Everything's operational. There we go. Alrighty then. Hey. Okay. Hope you can still hear me. I think you could probably see me, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah. Here we are. Welcome to the model room. So, yeah. Hi. So this craziness that is, that is here. In fact, I'm going to just go ahead and I think my camera's. Hold on a sec. Making adjustments. Let me know because I've got a different microphone operating out here, right? If you have trouble hearing me, let me know. Good. Okay, so this is where are we at here? We're at the other side of the. Hang on a second. Top messages. Live chat. Let me make sure I see this. There, live chat. Okay, cool. I'm keeping my phone handy, so yeah. All right. Actually, here I can do a live test. Live chat. Oh, there we go. Not bad. Okay, cool. Oh, you know what though? I moved it too far. Let's just do that. Okay. I know I'm being a wanker. So basically. Oh, it's a great collection. We can hear you good. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Arts' Face. I appreciate it. The collection. So I did a show and tell before we moved. Stephanie and I, we did sort of a show and tell of all the models that I'd built, or at least the ones that I had. I was getting ready to pack them for the move, right? But I haven't actually shown anybody what the collection of unbuilt kits is. Now, this isn't going to be entirely a show and tell and, hey, look at my models, because I want to get into sort of the why a little bit, which I hope will be kind of entertaining. And, yeah. So, anyhow, so yes, this wall behind me represented 20 boxes. Let me see. Here's one. Hold on. So, yeah. In fact, here's one of them. Yeah. Just so we know. So this is one of the boxes, right? Actually, this is like a little undersized, right? Actually, that has models in it too. Very cool. Oh, it's so much more damp over here. Anyway, so we had, so this is about 20 of those boxes of the model kits that I kept. I did donate so Stephanie thinks that I donated about a third of the kits, donated or sold about a third of the kits that I had before the move here. Reactivate viewfinder and oh, the viewfinder. Sorry, I'm working off of my camera here now, which is actually working out pretty good. I like this. So yes, focus, Chris. Okay, so many things to cover. All right, so I'll get into why I have so many of these in just a second. Anyway, so I have them. I've had them in shelves in past houses. Well, in the last house they were in shelves kind of like this in our garage, but it was we just had some of those kind of big plastic shelves. They were just sort of jammed in, right? There wasn't really much order to it, and that was just to try to compact them down as much as possible. As I was unpacking them here, we had two things going for us. One, and this is borrowed. I have a metal shelf here that is one of the ones from our shop. This one's borrowed. It's on wheels, which is really fun. But this white one over here, I don't know if you can see kind of the edges of it. This was a sort of a built bookshelf thing that was in the house. Actually, the previous owner had built this. It was left here in the house, and when I was looking at it. It occurred to me, and I think and Stephanie was the one that first mentioned it. Actually, she goes, you ought to consider just putting your kits get them out of the boxes and stick them on that shelf. And I thought, in my mind, there was no way it was going to hold them all. So, and I thought, well, maybe we need to get some other shelves, get something that would work better, blah blah blah. And again, me overthinking it, which is why I'm not getting any videos out. There we go. So. Okay, great. So I started unpacking them. I just said, forget it. Let's just get them out of the boxes. I'm finally like, you're right. Let's just get this thing out of the way. And as I'm putting them up here, it is apparent that shelf isn't going to hold them all. So that's why I'm this is a temporary thing to sort of offload them. Because as I was unloading them and putting them started it kind of over here, I realized, this is, I boxed them by subject. So as I was pulling them out, it was relatively easy to put them on the shelves by subject. And I'm like, wait a second, this looks like a hobby shop. I have more model kits than are in your average hobby shop science fiction and fantasy section. With the exception of Ryder's Hobby Shop in Flint, Michigan, which, by the way, if you're in the Flint, Michigan area, please visit them. They're awesome. I do not compete with them, but either way, it was just kind of like as I was putting them on the shelves, it was occurring to me. I'm like, wait a second. And I know it's a simple thing, right? Oh yeah, put the stuff out there and make it look good, but do it from the sense of somebody who was building a retail shelf display, as opposed to just pack as many in as you possibly can. And it was kind of neat. It's really the first time that I've been able to see all the kits that I do own in this fashion, which is it's weirdly helpful, right? When things are kind of in boxes and put away. I mean, if there's a Marie Kondo segment on people who hoard model kits, I'll run that one. Okay, there we go. You got to get your feng shui right. So it's your living experience. Anyway, and that's actually pretty important, I think. It was, I don't know why. I'm keying into model kits here anyway, and yeah, it was kind of a nice, fun thing. Grab some water here. That is the drink of the day on the live stream, this water. So there we go. Anyhow, so I have an absurd amount of model kits. Yes, this was the result of me over the years when I was building far more models. Late 90s to the 2010s, 2015 or so, and basically what happened was, at that time, the model kits weren't coming out like crazy like they are today. So if you wanted something that you wanted to build, if you didn't pick it up when you saw it, the chances were you weren't going to see it again. And I went a little overboard with that, granted. Mea culpa, not gonna lie, that's gonna happen. But at the same time, this I have curated a collection of things that, as a model builder, I absolutely feel like I would want to build. In fact, when I was selling off pieces and donating kits, I was donating a lot of kits that were things that maybe I would build, and things that maybe I'd collected from other collectors, or I just had multiple copies of them, that sort of thing. Kits that I kept around for parts, for building kit bashing and so forth like that. But the ones that have remained, like just about all of them, I'm like, not only do I want to build, I either want to build them as really nice kits, or I feel like they would be a good display, a really good display. So that was essentially why I held on to them instead of just jettisoning all of them in the first place. There's a very good chance that I may be able to, come back into this a little bit. And as it turns out, that's sort of happening. It's happening organically as a result of the live stream, the paintings that I've been doing, which I don't want anybody to think that I am walking away from the paintings. I'm really not. We're just in sort of a phase where I'm reestablishing the version 2.0, if you will, of our basement studio, and there will very soon be a 3.0, because I'm not sure if I can. Let me see if I can do this without unplugging everything. If I rotate the camera a bit, yeah, there we go. You get a little shot there. You get a little shot of the corner over here where the walls. This is the other side of the office over here. In fact, this whole wall is on the other side of that office. Anyway, so the reason I show that to you is that all of this wood paneling's got to go. It's been up a long time. That particular wall is the one that's a little damp, and so that just means that anything behind it is going to basically be rotting and miserable and gross. And nobody wants that. So anyway, but until we get to that point, I need to get everything out. It's doing two things. One, getting rid of big bulky boxes. Everything's on the wall. This is great. This whole side of the area that I'm in was pretty much just a dump zone for the storage boxes, and now it's opening up, which is great. Also, I have relinquished another one of these tables, although it's, okay, so very soon to be relinquished. Because not only are there model kits, there's just kind of other sundry things that are associated with it. Anyhow, so anyway, bum ba dum bum bum. Am I gonna get the right shade of blue? Yes. That would be for this one. Can actually hear me better? Oh my gosh, that's kind of weird, Rhonda. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I wasn't catching up with the comments on here. That's actually very funny. You can hear me better. Okay, well, I'm going to keep that in mind. I'll check in on it, Rhonda. Thank you for that. Have I ever thought about doing a space painting background with a model framed in front of it? Exactly, yes. Actually, Arts of Space, yes, that is exactly what I intend to do. I picked up I picked up the Pablo Laguna. In fact, this particular one, part of this is going to be a little bit of a show and tell. I'll be honest with you. This is a resin kit. Bill Weiger, I believe. Weiger. Bill Weiger, who's a regular at Wonderfest and has done a number of really cool models. I have I've got a Ralph McQuarrie version of Darth Vader that is really fun, really, really fun, and so this one, of course, is the Diva from The Fifth Element, and it's a very good likeness. It's a very good figure. I've probably had this kit for like, I don't know, 10 years maybe a little bit more. So this, you can't just have the Diva sitting there, right? I mean, we really need the background of Floston, the planet Floston, right? And all the windows, which is really cool. Yes. So the shade of blue. I presume you're asking about her. Yes. In fact, I'm in my becoming reacquainted with my model tools, I am investigating some really cool iridescent
semi-metallic colors, right? In fact, I think I can get a little depth on this, which is going to be really cool. Because if you recall in the movie, her dress, I think they made her dress out of silicone, like her bodysuit. I think a lot of it was silicone. It had a translucency to it, right? You can kind of see it in a few of the shots, especially when he's kind of like grabbing grabbing her stones. High five to any and all Fifth Element fans. Woohoo! Yes, exactly. I don't have a lot of Fifth Element material here. In fact, there are a couple of Fifth Element things I want Amanda Showen so badly, right? Like just to kind of go with the diva here, and some stones. Stones, yes. So there is also a 3D printer in the pile over here that will be assisting me in the how should I call it? The combining of flat paintings and models and dioramas. So yeah. Sorry. Some of this was really what's what I'm looking for. I was investigating a lot of people that I follow on YouTube and the kinds of things that I think are pretty cool channels. So some of the ones that come to mind to me are maybe ones that are familiar to the rest of you. Nerdforge is one, for instance. Boyle Hobby Time, who does this sort of thing, combining kits into dioramas, is really cool. And some artists that I have followed for a number of years. There's a few of them. Gosh, I'm gonna forget her name. Is it Ash Lee? She's out of the UK. She does these beautiful little wall-hanging dioramas that are sort of like picture frames, little round oval picture frames, really kind of like ornate and old. But she paints a beautiful little sky with stars and does these little UFOs, and they're adorned with landscaping material. They're really wonderful. I'm gonna have to try to remember her name. She's when I remember, I'll post it in Discord, just so people can kind of see the stuff. These are the kinds of artists that I've enjoyed over the years. And Nerdforge gets into some really fun, crazy builds by all means, and even to a certain extent. I'm not sure how many of you have any of you watched somebody named Bobby Fingers? So yeah, Bobby Fingers. That sort of thing gets a little bit on the other end of it, but which could be fun. Rhonda asks, would you happen to have Serenity in those kits? Well, Rhonda. Let's just kind of let's just see what we got here. Where did I put it? Oh yeah. Da 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 do 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 do. We've got. Hey, we're gonna take a look at this one. We got to take a look at this one. Come here. Okay. Let me pull out the roller table. I brought some other things just for fun too. But anyway, we are going to. Pardon me, Diva. You got to make way for this lunar module. And in fact, oh yes, one of my boxes. We'll get to this one in a little bit. Let me set this down here. Okay, cool. So, what do we have here? This is, what was this? This was, well, they called it Shiny, the people that made this kit. It's really unfortunate. The person that made this kit turned out to be a complete tool. But, what are you going to do? Anyway, so this is a, whoa, I gotta move over more. Hang on a second. Let me just, Jesus, all my plans. So yeah, this is a resin garage kit. Oh yeah, there was a piece. And hold it up here. There was a piece missing. There we go. Let me pull my phone back. Da 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 da. Yeah. I put over and under 3. Y'all know me too well, damn it. Yes. Bill making stuff is a neat channel, along with Nerdforge, 1000 and more. Cool. I'll check. I think I've seen Bill making stuff. Yeah. Anyhow, the Serenity. So there's actually this. Gosh, there. Okay, I'm gonna bitch in a minute. This is a 3D printed model originally, back when 3D printing models was pretty hard to do. Well, more difficult than buying a $300 hunk of something and putting it in your house. So this is the bridge nose of Serenity. Yes, this fits on the front up here. I can't hold it; it's gonna fall. Okay, let me see if I can do it like this. Okay, cool. So again, originally this is a originally 3D printed part cast in a hunk of solid resin. 3D printed part cast in a, I think this is a semi, is this? It's either solid or it's rotocast, I'm not sure. Or actually it might be resin with micro bubbles in it, I'm not sure. Gotta be careful of that sort of thing. Here's the back end, the engine. Again, solid hunk of resin. So, anyway. My bitching part. This model is big enough to the point where you can see the windows. You can, let me see if I turn it properly. You can see that there's window detail in there. It's big enough where you could put in a little interior thing, which is great. This is just one big hunk of something. There definitely, in theory, if I wanted to, I could carve this up and put an interior in it. There's plenty of room for an interior. How many people building one of these things would want to fucking light it? So anyway, that's my irritation. Because if you're 3D printing a part, why are you 3D printing just the outside? I don't get that. This could have just as easily been molded and cast with intention of being a hollow piece, which would have saved you about, let me see, 80% of the resin that was used for one thing. And another thing, it wouldn't have been a pain in the ass to do fun stuff with it. Yeah, there we go. That's me taking a few shots at the people that made this kit. But other than that, beautiful model. In fact, actually, on the surface detail, my last gripe, you can plainly see that not only was this thing built with a 3D program, there's triangles everywhere on the surface detail. And, whatever you do. I have to do some sanding, big deal. Build lines all over it. Overall, yeah, this thing's just like this really, you can't, it might be hard to see, but up close and personal, I think that there are definitely build lines all over this, which is great because it's round. Twat. Definitely would want glowy bits, right? So one of the reasons I didn't just immediately hop this thing together, I mean, that's really what this is good for, is slap it all together, give it an outside paint coat, stick it on a stand, call it done. That is as far as they went with this. And for that, since that is the intention of this kit, great kit. I've seen a number of these built up. It builds up beautifully. I mean, really, with Serenity's a paint job. It's going to be a lot of fun because there's a lot of metallics and a lot of weathering. So, yes, absolutely. Not only glowy, and it's big. I mean, this thing, you saw it, this thing's big. So, yeah, this, when I was deciding what models to keep and which ones to vacate, this one definitely was I'm keeping it because you're never going to see one of these again. There are some 3D print, there are some files you can 3D print some. I haven't really looked at them that closely. So anyway, but until then, the fact that I have this means I don't have to 3D print it. And if I 3D printed it, I would be dealing with mold lines and everything anyway. So, the short-term plan for this will be to, I am absolutely going to light it. I don't think I'm going to do full interiors, but that cockpit bridge Absolutely. That thing's going away. It's way too prominent. Every model I've seen built up from this, I look at that little bridge and go, it is such a damn shame. There are actually a couple of people I've known who have drilled it all out and rebuilt it. So I'm either going to do that. Maybe I'll 3D print some pieces. Maybe I'll just scratch build it. That's fun too. I get a kick out of it. I have to be honest with you. No headphones and no microphone. That's feeling pretty good. Yeah, might have to reconsider things a little bit. Not only that, the space over here is fantastic. So there maybe along the way I'll be just hanging curtains in here and moving the whole show out to this side, and I can figure out my cord issues a little bit later. Turns out this camera, this is as far away this camera can get from the other room. I tried another extension USB cable, and it dilutes the signal too much or something. I'm not sure. Anyway. Oh, let's talk about the NX-01 behind me. James says, haha, there we go. Alrighty, Serenity coming back. Alrighty. Welcome to the model shop. To get to it, I've got to move the B9 Lost in Space robot. Thanks, Frank, for doing that. James Owen with a request. Coming in on line 2. Alrighty. What do we have here? We have... I know, I need this thing to be like down lower is what I need to have it do. Maybe I can just do that. Nah, I'll figure it out. Alright. Boom, he says. This is the, NX-01. Pretty cool. In fact, I'm gonna do a thing here. I feel like I'm about ready to knuckle over a bunch of my kits that are just randomly sitting here. So I'm gonna move them into safer locations, I feel. Okay, there we go. Alright. Sorry about that. Hey, this is a professional live stream here. You know, if any of you people have been here long enough, you know that it doesn't work that great. So, this one, this was Dusty. Good God. One of the things I should have done was I went along, but anyway. So, Polar Lights, when they first got the Star Trek license, they did a couple of really great little kits, and then they decided to go big kits. And this was their first, this was the NX-01 in 1/350th scale. And how many parts does it say? I forget what it says. There's a lot of parts to this one. All right. When this model first came out, I was one of the first to buy it, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, you know how big this thing is? Oh wait, man, I can't do it that way. That's just bullshit. Hold on a second. Let me just... Anticlimactic. Marry you. There's like these big honking knobs. You think I could just get... Oh, there's 5 of them. That's why. Hang tight. Da-da-ba-ba. There we go. There we are. Hello, baby. Haha. NX-01 time. NX-01 time. Is that upside down? There we go. This thing goes in the back. Goes in the back like that. There we go. Holy smokes. So, yeah. These are... I'm doing this backwards. Sorry. Yes, there we go. Where's an engine? Engines? They went all out with this model. I am, you know, it was a really nice addition. Not only did they make a giant kit, but they really went out of their way to engineer it so that, I don't know if you could see it. Let me see how I can do this. Anyway, the short of it is there's holes for lights, basically. Oh, I know how I can do it. Where did that go? Did I pull it back? No, I had a light. Yeah, I have a light. I have a light right here. Okay, hang tight. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Maybe it can't be seen with all the... Yeah. Anyway, holes for lights. Not only holes for lights, but it came with clear windows. One of the coolest Star Trek ship designs. I really liked the NX-01 a lot, honestly. And it's a shame I haven't built this kit. This thing's been in my collection for ages. The reason why I was saying it was a chase color is because when this first came out, it was being shot in a sort of tan brownish plastic. In fact, I think it might have been ABS. And then this one was the chase color in traditional white styrene. Why that's the chase color, I don't know. It's the chase color. So, the intention for me was, that makes this a rare kit. And maybe I'd sell it later. I said, no, I'm going to keep it. So, yeah, this is a... Oh my god, the stand. The stand is a, you know, basically the NX-01 logo thing. Oh yeah, yeah, and all of the little side, so these go all along the edge of the saucer. There's window inserts, there's clear inserts for all the window inserts. Yeah, right. It's been a long road. Oh my gosh. Almost every Wonderfest, somebody kicks that off, and then everyone joins in. It's really nerdy, I swear. It's really nerdy, but it happens. So, yes. Cool kit. The only thing is, I don't think I am ever intended to actually get them closed again once they're open. But, as you can see, a lot of the models that I've actually built, if you've been watching, are kind of things that are, you know, this size. And that was for practical reasons. I was often flying to Wonderfest. So, anyway, smaller kits, easier to travel with. I have all of these big kits, and, you know, I have a few of them. I have this one, and they're the larger refit Enterprise, the older, I should say, the same scale, the same size as this one, the traditional old school Enterprise. I've got two of those. One's in the other room actually right now. One's in one of the boxes down here, partially assembled. So, big kits. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm not gonna. I'll reorganize the store later. I'll set this aside. But yeah, hang tight. This I mean, that brings me kind of to. So a model like that, I think would look fantastic either on a stand. It's big, right? But it also might look really great with a background. And that's one of the reasons I was playing with this, you know, ridiculous thing I was painting on a Corona Light. I'm still not convinced the illusion is going to work properly, but, you know, with the... Oh! What Dune Ornithopter is that in back? I don't recognize it. Ooh, I'll pull that out in a second. Anyway, so backgrounds, you know, doing fun backgrounds with possible illusions. This Dune Ornithopter, there were, Revell Model Kit Company did three model kits from the Dune movie. There was a sandworm, there was this ornithopter, and like a little buggy. And let me see if I can grab that one. My little flying sub here. Bum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum bum. Ha ha! Yes, baby, Forbidden Planet. Let me grab that. Bum bum bum. Hey, Nanu, how you doing today? It's good to see you. We're hanging out in my model shop. Not gonna lie, I'm already shopping your wall just to put price tags on it. Hey, Mediocre, how you doing today? Thank you. Yeah, this is the shebang. There's like maybe half a dozen models in my regular studio that are not here. But hey, welcome aboard. We're hanging out in the basement. I hope you all brought drinks. This one's just a sparkling water in my Space Art by Christopher Doll mug. Yes, which I need to get more in the store. Anyway, yeah, this one from let me see if I can okay, I'll get a better sense of this, I promise. This beast was by Revell Corporation, Model Kit Company, and this was the Harkonnen ornithopter from the David Lynch Dune movie. There was never one done of the Atreides ornithopter, But I've gotten to kind of be pals with artist and designer Ron Miller, and he and his wife Judith worked on this movie, and apparently she and they together designed the Beast. They actually still have a couple of them. Hang tight. I lost me camera. Oh, there we go. They still have a couple of them in a couple of small models, maquettes that were used previously, which is awesome. So yeah. Doing good in St. Louis. You're in St. Louis, Nanu. Awesome. Very cool. Hey, welcome aboard. Welcome to St. Louis. Take the arch. Yeah, okay, so here's the other two. There, I'll see if I can hold it without a glare. So there's, they did a sandworm kit. Yeah, you know, and then they did this thing, which might have had like 15 frames of screen time in the movie. And then you get this lovely box art of all the characters, which is really cool. And let's see, yeah, actually, the box art on this, pretty killer, right? I mean, this is a pretty killer painting, and it looks a little Giger, very much so. Yeah, there was a they kind of wanted the Harkonnens to have sort of that, you know, biomechanical thing to it. But there was a guy in our model club that bought one of these, and he did a really nice job putting it together. And in fact, he did such a nice job putting it together. It was kind of one of those designs that I never thought much of it during the movie. But and here's some of the pieces. Oh, I have it wrong way. Sorry. So this is kind of the front end. It's in this dark brown styrene that is really kind of brittle. This reminds me of like the older model kits from the 60s. If you ever seen one that's in that like silvery kind of stuff, it's that kind of a brittle styrene. In fact, the person in my club that built it actually went out of their way to put brass legs together for it, because the plastic ones were just not even there. But I have to say, you know, for being a 1984 era Revell kit, there's a couple of really cool, there's some good detail. This is like a back panel for the interior. I don't know if it catches up on the camera or not, but it's got some good detail on it. Really good detail. But the instructions are so old they're yellowed. Anyway, so this was in my acquiring kits phase. This after I saw the one in my club, I was like, you know what? I kind of feel like I need some Dune models in, so I kept an eye out for about 2 years on eBay, and somebody finally had one that came up at a pretty good price, and it was all intact. So I just said, okay, pulling the trigger on that one. So yeah, that's cool too. But there's another one I want to pull out, another resin kit that I think will be kind of fun. Yeah, and please feel free if somebody wants to see a kit, holler. Here we go. Here we go. There are a few times, what would you call it, sort of like, what's the term? Everyone says, oh, what's your grail kit? What's your holy grail of models? As if we're all trudging through the forest looking for that one perfect model kit, right? I don't have one grail kit, I've got dozens. Anyway, I'm always, when I'm drawn to a ship design, that I think is really cool, it inevitably becomes the one that no one ever does an actual like injection styrene model kit of it. So I was always keeping my eyes out on some cool gems, and this one wasn't gonna get sold. Let me see if I can pull this out. Oh yeah. In fact, I don't know. Is Blappy in here? I'll bet he's not in here today because I think he did some of the casting on this. So okay, if anyone sees David Blappy, where can come in? There he is! Yes! Woohoo! Hey, Blappy, I got something for you, pal. Woohoo! I don't know if you recognize this, but let me see if I can get the focus. Focus. It was like we were calling out for Blappy, and he showed up. So yes, it's like asking who's your favorite child, right? It is, right? Oh yeah, Sophie's Choice. Do you go for the Roger Young from Starship Troopers? Yeah. Thanks, Blap. Good to see you. I correct me if I'm wrong. I think you did some casting on this kit. But anyway, what I love about this model is it's incredibly long, right? Wait, it goes this way. Okay, cool. It's really long. It's not what I meant. No, don't put words in my mouth. Okay, cool. So yeah, and this has all the gantry structures on it, and there's a whole engine back end of this thing. I mean, do I even have a photo of it? Built? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, here's some. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, let's see if I can pull this up. So this is the ship in question. And they give you variations for different paint jobs and all of this good stuff. This way. Sorry. Here's a longer shot this way. There we go. Cornered. Yeah, there we go. I'm inverted. There we are. Okay, so what you get is all the pieces to put one of these together. And what's really cool is this was, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna get the details of this wrong. But Sony put all the money up for Starship Troopers, right? Or at least a good chunk of it. And the models that they used to shoot this movie in particular, there were multiple sizes. The Roger Young, I think the biggest one was it was 11 feet long. It was enormous, right? I mean, it was just huge for all those juicy close-up shots when the ship was breaking up and catching on fire, right? Pulling this out just so I can look at something. Anyway, so alas, poor York. Well, oh yes, poor, gosh, Roger Young, I knew them well. Yeah, a little bridge up there. You can, if you look closely, you can almost see Denise Richards in there. No, I'm just kidding. You can't. And I forget his name, the guy that used to be on Young and the Restless. Anyway, so I digress. I believe that Sony commissioned a bunch of the smaller models this size that were sent around to their different conventions, because I remember seeing them at SIGGRAPH, and they showed up in photos at different big events, not just the model conventions and movie conventions, but they were like at premieres and lobbies, that sort of thing. So I think that's where the original forms for this came from. Somebody got a hold of it, did a nice job of keying it up to be turned into a kit, basically. I don't believe this one was entirely created as a kit from scratch. I think there's some lineage to an actual screen-used piece, which is kind of fun. Hey, Edward Bartlett, how you doing tonight? Hey, good to see ya. Thank you. So, this might have lineage to the stuff that was used in the show. I don't know. But it's fun. It certainly matches the one I saw at the Sony DreamWorks booth at SIGGRAPH in 1996. So, this one definitely coming along, and this would be a fun paint job, to be honest with you. Brenda Strong from Seinfeld was the captain of the Roger Young. That's right. That's right. She was. I forgot about that. I love that. Steady on, number 2. Yes. So there's that one. Oh God, there's another one of those that's like that. Here we go. Oh yeah. I think a while back. Oh, I completely forgot. Oh my gosh. So I completely forgot. I also got with that the Roger Young this little sheet of extra ships. So there's, what is it here? Can't see it. These are the little drop ships, right? And I think, yeah, there's little drop ships on here, but there's also I don't know if you can see it. This is in scale with the Roger Young. There's a Millennium Falcon. Yeah, and I think it has fighters. Maybe I got the fighters separately. I can't remember. But I do actually have a little... Where did that go? If I don't put that in here, I'm going to lose it. Sorry. Oh, they officially called it the Galactic Intruder. Whoa. Galactic Intruder. Yes. Here, I can just sort of like Vanna White my shop here from this location. This is kind of fun. All right, back up here for you. Back away with you. Yes. All right. Bum ba da ba ba bum 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 bum. All right. Checking up with chat. So yes. Sorry about the Streamlabs kicking off so many of those. I should turn those out. Yes. Sorry about that. Anyway, what we've got here. This one's fun. This is a very interesting little design here, right? This was in the movie Independence Day when Jeff Goldblum and Will, yes, brain aneurysm. Anyway, when they go into the mother ship and they see that the aliens are preparing for a giant invasion of the Earth, and they're marching a bunch of troops into this little thing, these transports. Bum ba-dum bum bum. I have what may be one of two of the easiest model kits ever created. It is basically a casting of one of the smaller models that they used in Independence Day. So these things were kind of just like gently floating in the background as Will Smith, thank you, and Jeff Goldblum were like, you know, doing their little escape. So yeah, this thing, I don't know, I love the shape of this ship. Ever since I saw Independence Day, I'm like, oh, what was that one in the background? What was that in the background? Holy shit, what was that? What was that? And of course, there was never any, like, anything about that. And I think Tracy at Federation Models had this one year. In fact, I was helping him. I was working his table. And I opened these up. Oh, check out the base. Holy crap. Check out the base of this. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know. This might have been someone cast. I don't know if this is actually cast from something from the movie or not. I have no idea. But there were multiple sizes of the motherships that were, not the motherships, but like the city killer ships, right? And this might have been the plate in the middle of one of them, and they did a casting to use as the stand. So basically what you get is this, and it's a paint job. But, yeah, it was pretty cool. I like the idea of having a couple of things in the mix that might have been the thing that was used. Someplace in here I've got one of my... I have one of those Pyro copies of the old Battlestar Galactica Viper. It was really warped, right? It was definitely it definitely seen a few shots through those molds, right? And I deliberated over whether I would, you know, carve it up, accurize. I ended up just kind of like squaring up what I could and painting it and leaving all the warps in it. It didn't matter. It looks great. It looks great. It's one of my favorite things on the shelf. I don't care if it's like warped and bent a little bit. It's not so bad that you will notice it until you like get up close, right? So, but I love the fact that there's like something in here that might have actually been used in a show at some point. I don't know. It's really cool. Plus, model kits have gotten so cool in the last few years. There's actually very few I've purchased. This is one that I purchased just before the move. This is one of the Klingon vessels from Star Trek The Motion Picture. Fans like to call it the Katinga, because that's what the guy that wrote the book on the movie called it. But this thing is freaking killer. This, again, one of the Star Trek designs, specifically this design from Star Trek The Motion Picture, it blew my mind when I saw the movie. And it was my favorite bit, really, one of my favorite bits, visually, out of Star Trek The Motion Picture. the kits available of this ship at the time, back in 1981, 82, Ertl, E-R-T-L, Ertl made them, were okay. But they were misshapen. They just kind of looked like toys when you ended up building them. Even people that have years later tried desperately to modify them, they just still didn't make it. The folks at Polar Lights, round 2. This is like the, they started with the NX-01, right? And then this was, well, okay, so that was Polar Lights version 1, right? That was Polar Lights version 1, got sold, got rebought again by the same people, and yeah, okay, and then they ate and consumed about 5 other model kit companies, including Ertl. Anyhow, so, but this is the latest crew doing big model kits, and holy smokes. They called in an army of nerds, people like me with even more time on their hands. So mean, it's so mean. I don't mean it that way. No, they really did. They went and found they went all out on this model. That's the best thing I can. I mean, that's the thing I can say about it. It is clearly a model that is engineered for an old nerd like me that loves this kind of accuracy, because this is about as close as you're ever going to get, right? I mean, aside from actually going and stealing the original shooting miniatures. Very nicely done kit. Again, all set up for lighting. They sell a light kit, which I still need to purchase for it. But anyway, and these are larger models. Not only did we not have the room to build them, I didn't really have a place to display them. So this wall will eventually become the display wall. I don't know. I'm taking bets. How many people think I'm actually going to get through building all these? That all depends. I think I get through about 6 before I kick out, right? Is that about a good number before I like completely burn out on the model thing again and don't come back to it? No. That's not true. It's not true! Don't say that! Oh my gosh. The fun thing about it is that in the mix of all of this, I have some relics from when I was younger, like this flying sub, which I know I finished before high school or thereabouts, right? And it's one of the last kits that I went all out and painted. It's got a little interior. I can show photos of it later. There's characters in it. Everything's hand painted. I didn't have an airbrush at the time. I did the best I could. Didn't even bother surface painting it. It's just it came in yellow plastic. You have them all done by next week. Yes, ma'am. Right. Okay, back to the build side. No. But yeah, you see, this is a by one of my other heroes saving science fiction models. The Mobius folks. Giant flying sub with interior all set for lighting. Had to have that one. The kit that I wished had been made when I was obsessed with the movie Fantastic Voyage back in the 1970s. I loved it. I love this sub. It was designed by Harper Goff, the same guy who designed the Nautilus from Disney's, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I love this little thing. This is no models. I looked for years. I even thought, hey, look, someone had a Fantastic Voyage model that was by the Aurora Plastics Company. It wasn't that. It was some cartoon. It was, ripped off. No. Yeah, I feel like Frank at Mobius was, he definitely liked a lot of the same stuff that I liked, because, man, he did this. Excellent Jupiter 2s. He did an excellent Jupiter 2, the big one, that's kind of up and over behind me here, which is another one that I wish that they'd had models of. Oh my god, it would have been the simplest model ever, and I was sitting there stapling paper plates in my backyard and drawing on them with markers. Go figure. So, that was the important things. But they're not all big either. I've got this neat little Andrea Miniatures Jean-Luc Picard, right? This is a little... This may be the angriest sculpt Jean-Luc Picard I've ever seen. But the rest of him's good. I think I'm gonna have to whip off his eyebrows. I mean, really, he looks like Dr. X or something. You know, he just it's not. It's an almost likeness of Patrick Stewart, but it's tiny. It's tiny. So yeah. Some of these littler miniatures. Oh, he's a wee dude with a very angry demeanor. Tilted this way. Right. Make it angry. I don't even know if that's visible. I'm not sure. Yike. It's pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of these little things. As much as I intend to continue commissioning, taking commissions for artwork and continuing to paint full paintings, I'm working this part in to part of the mix. It's some of it is, instead of just building, I want to build something that maybe that elevates these. You know how when you're in a cooking show, they're like, okay, we want you to make an elevated grilled cheese. And I think sometimes, a model kit just sitting on the shelf on its own kind of just feels like, it feels like, it's kind of a plain grilled cheese. I don't know, what's so big deal about it? But, with a little bit of adornment, maybe nicing it up, something that brings it a little life. Maybe then it's not just a grilled cheese, but it's a fine panini with, a little brie, a little basil, a roasted pepper or something. I don't know. That's my thought. That's my theory. I'm going with it. I'm sticking to it. The big question here, though. Oh wait. Oh gosh, I can't believe this. The big question. I mean, here's another one. I had created. I created nothing. I bought a kit. I would have the. I don't want to unleash the wrath of Dave Merriman on me because not all of these were built. No, I'm kidding. So look, I've got this great little the shuttle Tidarium here, which was built from the model kit right after Return of the Jedi came out. I did an okay job. I think all I really did was spray paint it. Has some structural issues, but I have every piece of this model. It broke. I have the whole cockpit. I've got all of this. I have the landing legs in a bag over here with some other missing kits. Not only do I have the models that are unbuilt, I've got a box of some vintage things that I'd had built years ago, and I think it'd be fun to kind of revisit them. So yeah, revisit them and nice them up, perhaps. But I was going to say the sheer number of partially started models in here is a little deceptive. I think there's probably about 20 of these models that have been partially started. And before any of you decide that, hey man, this is all spaceships and stuff, the fine folks at the Heller Model Kit Corporation have bequeathed us some really fun models here. They aren't all spaceships, kids. Oh yeah, this one I think I won this at Galaxy Hobby. Like it was like the door prize or something, and I was like, oh yeah, I am not donating Homer. This one is getting a build, I swear. Yes, absolutely. Dave. Oh yeah, cool. Which Dave. Ben in his workshop. Dave. Oh my gosh. Hey Andrew, how you doing? How's it going, Andrew? So many models, right? We've unpacked them. Who was I just talking about? Dave. See, forgive me. It's been a week. That's right. That's very cool. You've been in a shop. That's awesome. So many models. This is I'm trying to build an experience of me walking into a hobby shop. And oh, Dave Merriman. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, very cool. Oh, very fun. Yeah, Dave. So you know him. Dave's not here, right? Dave's not here. There's no way Dave's watching me, but if he is, that's really funny, Nanu. Dave Merriman is he's an older. He's more graybeard than me. Dave Merriman he's the silverback of model builders. Back when I was getting back into the hobby and kind of the internet hobby was starting up, Dave Merriman was quite a figure. He's written a number of articles. Dave Merriman is a master model builder by all means. This guy knows his stuff. I've learned a ton from him. And in fact, a lot of the model builders in the community now have learned a ton from him. But yeah, it looks like you're in a model shop. I know, right? It's almost a model shop here. But anyway, the bit about Dave though is that he used to he would always take this attitude that, oh, you know, you are mere kit builders. You are not true model builders. You excuse me. I appreciate epic level god tier trolling when I see it, when it's handled well and artistic. And I think that Dave Merriman certainly was in part of it. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's such a dick." I'm like, "No, actually, it's kind of fun. He's a character. He was in your RC Boat Club. I'm not surprised. That's his other thing is RC Boats and Subs." Yeah. So I used to just laugh because I'm like, well, he's right. If you're going to be a good model maker, learn how to be a good model. It's more than just sticking pieces together. Now, for me, I'm not bothered by that because, time is also part of the thing. I'm not a professional model builder, although I play one on YouTube. Along with many other aspects of my life, model building and professional model building, I could easily step in and pretty much skirt the line. Like, hey, put him in a shop, I'd be able to figure out in a day or so. I'm barely a kit builder. I know, right? We're trading kits for guitars, right? No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, Dave Merriman, I dig the guy so much. I really do. And again, when I would see his articles on the details he would craft and creating molds, for instance, and crafting a very complicated form, yet keeping complicated forms with engineering principles in mind, right? Symmetry, the importance of form across shapes. In fact, I referenced a number of his articles when I was doing my Moya build-up, which at some point I'll do another video on Moya. But that was a challenging piece of engineering. I kind of half-assed it through some of it, but the basic principle was sound and it worked, which surprised me to no end. Anyway, so Dave Merriman, that's really fun. He will help you. You will learn the best way to do it, and you will do it yourself. Exactly. There's a reason why you call yourself mediocre modeler. We've all had run-ins. Hey, I'm going to learn the skills the best I can and use them where necessary. But I got a lot of kits to chew through. I'm not going to sit here and recarve this. No. I'm going to rely on a kid. What do you mean you're going to build that? You're not going to carve that out of a hunk of solid granite? Tink, 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 tink. No, I'm kidding. Nah, it's all good. But yes. And I had a suspicion that this was sarcasm at play, so I never took it personally. Anyhow. All right, yes. Andrew. It feels like a model shop, right? So, when I was walking past this, it was making me giggle. I was like, this is really a fun thing. I think I mentioned previously I have recently visited my brother and my father up in Michigan, where I grew up, just outside of Flint. And Flint, Michigan still has one of the best damn hobby shops in the entire continental United States. Probably even Alaska and Hawaii, for that matter. And Puerto Rico. Sorry, Puerto Rico. But Ryder's Hobby Shop in Flint is still going pretty strong from the looks of it. And it was such a joy to walk through that hobby shop again, because my hobby shop back in Seattle, Galaxy Hobby, they closed almost 10 years ago now, which was really unfortunate because that was a great hobby shop. And, as with all retail shops, they're getting fewer and far between. So I got sort of that was a really weird noise. I don't know what that was. Somebody jumping upstairs. So I got kind of a charge out of that, and it was after I got back from the trip, and we were down here messing around with everything that I, unloaded all this, and I got that same charge. It was like, wait a second, this feels like I just walked through a hobby shop. Oh my god. So, yeah, there's there's another shelf. I think I mentioned earlier that the ones to what on this side, from the flying sub on over, are on sort of this rolling metal shelf right now, and then the rest of them are over on this wood white shelf up here. This thing looks like retail, right? If I were to take the sides off, if I took, you can kind of see the, yeah, this is just, it's just a big box that the previous owner built, right? It kind of looks like an old retail shop space. Like if you were going to do, you know, retail space at an old hobby shop somewhere, kind of looks like one of those. I will say, Ryder's Hobby Shop in Flint has nice furniture. So sorry about that. I have to make sure my camera's not leaving. Anyway, I was just thinking about Galaxy Hobby. Yeah, they kind of, yeah, they're gone. It's so unfortunate. Yeah, I'll tell you about it later. They were basically, yeah. That's one of the reasons why all these shops are closing up. You've got a shop that's been in a location for 20 years, and all of a sudden the real estate prices have gone up around you. They don't own the location; they're renting, right? And then they're like, oh, wait a second, whoever owns the property is like, we need to be charging you 5 times as much. And so starting in June, you're going to be charged 3 times what you've ever been charged before in an economy when things were already kind of being tight. So, you know, that's great. There's a Planet Fitness in there or some bullshit now, whatever. Someone's getting rich. Yeah, fantastic. Bugs me. Because it's not just the hobby shops, right? It's kind of like all unique shops of any flavor. Yeah. So I remember all the hobby shops I went to as a kid. Yeah, me too. It feels like it's something I hadn't really considered. The hobby shop experience being kind of what it was. So back in my office, where I usually shoot the live stream, not over here in the hobby shop, there's kind of a companion piece to this white bookcase. It's a lower one. And it looks even more like a retail space. I'm using it right now for like my printers on it. I have supplies in it for the printer and some other stuff. But I mean, I could easily use this cart for it and pull that other one over here and make a nice little L shape. Kind of thinking back in the corner over here. Let me see if I can. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull this off. After we nicen it up, right? That's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna pull this over here. All right, let's see if I can do this. Okay, so, all right, bear with me. Okay, so we've got the model shelf here, right? And then we have the low one, and then that comes over here in an L, and then in this corner, I can put my robot stand up. That would be really cool. But the other thing that would be really cool, see the other bench, the other bench is kind of low, so it's like retail shop low. I'm kind of feeling like maybe knocked over a model. I'm kind of thinking what I want to do is get some of those, kind of make something that looks like a point of sale stand for my paints, like Tamiya paints, that kind of thing. I dropped it. Nerd got excited. Okay, cool. Hang on, let me put this back in and we'll restore order here. Just wait a second. Here we go. Okay, nerd got excited. Okay, yeah. Miss the old unique hardware store hobby shops. Oh, seriously. There was what was the place in Seattle? Hardwick's Lumber and Hardware. Oh man, that place was amazing. So yeah. Oh, did I hit stop? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, hang on, folks. I gotta kill that. Well, let me bring this back up so I can see all your chat. I must have hit it with my freaking elbow. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there was a really great old lumber store right near University of Washington that was just miles of old tools. Really cool. But as usual, they all close up, which is really unfortunate. So yeah, it's a little. There we go. Yeah, so those kinds of things. I mean, even like fabric stores. Even there used to be gift shops with Christmas cards and things. Well, anyway, that kind of stuff. Really, any kind of old shop. There's the economies of scale apparently are destroying all of that. So anyway, wah. I thought if I could replicate the hobby shop experience here, and then I'll have to get a nice rug down here. We're gonna get the drawing. I got the little, little water issue in that corner right now. I'm not putting my cardboard robot over there. You know what I mean? So that's not gonna happen for a bit. But the other, I feel like this whole side, maybe, hear me out. This whole side might end up being kind of the studio. Oh. There's a reason. You're mourning the loss of Joann's, right? Seriously, the hell? There's no good reason. Joann's, Michael's, Bed Bath & Beyond. There's no good reason why any of these stores are going under, right? It's bullshit. It's really bullshit, and it's frustrating. Joann's was great, honestly. I would go frequently, not frequently, but Stephanie and Jessica and Allison were the ones that worked more with the fabric crafts. I started noticing that they were carrying more and more art supplies over the years, so that was great for me. It's always nice to have a backup in your town. Fortunately, I'm happy to report Oil City does have a hobby shop. Y-Bridge Hobbies. Y is W-Y-E, referring to the Y Bridge. Their primary jam is trains, so that's kind of their thing. They're big into HOs. It's like all scale trains, right? So scale model trains, which is awesome. They do cater to some RC. They have models. I'm sad to report that it appears as though the owner understands the price of some of his vintage kits that he has for sale. Art supply stores are pretty rare these days. They really are. We found one. The last one I went to that wasn't in like Manhattan was the Blick down in Pittsburgh. That was pretty good. Although oddly enough, there was one out in Astoria, Oregon. A really cool one. Actually, I think it did get bought. It was up for sale. It was a neat art supply shop. They had class space. They had all this stuff. The owners were selling the business for about like $450,000, which I couldn't have touched. But the thing was, you buy the business, that's great. You get all the stuff, but their location, they didn't own the shop, right? They were renting. So for me, even if I had if I had a $450,000 check, I could have written to him right then and there. That would have been a deal breaker for me, as not owning the property. It would have been meaningless. Oh, you love trains. We had an amazing train store in San Francisco. Oh my God, gone now. Oh, that's so frustrating. This hobby shop has a general selection. They're getting in more of the paints that I'm really wanting. So I'm going to keep an eye out in there. I will paints, glues. That's the thing. You get a hobby shop. I'm not going to sit here all the time and put out an order for, like a bottle of super glue, for crying out loud. But I would love to have a place I could go to where I could buy that kind of stuff, So anyway, I am very glad that there's one down here. He keeps strange hours. It's kind of like whenever he feels like being there, he'll be there. But now that they're getting in, I think they've got some gaming stuff. I've noticed they have some magic nights there, which is pretty cool. So, it feels like that's being really welcomed by the community here, and it's turning out really good. I'm very excited. So yeah, I did briefly reach out to him and ask him if he was interested in somebody running a sci-fi model club for the general area. Maybe I might do it through the makerspace and just kind of throw it out to the community. There's nerds out here in the sticks. Ha, promise. I know, because I was a nerd that grew up in the sticks. So there we go. But I do feel like, okay, all right, I'll share with you this idea. I don't know. I was inspired, I guess you could say, by Pee Wee Herman and the Pee Wee Herman Show, right? There was a recent biography of Paul Rubens that was shot apparently in the 4 years up until he died. And even the people that were running the documentary didn't know that he was that sick, and his death was apparently a surprise to them too. Uh, Max, HBO, the HBO Max folks have it. It's very, very cool. It's a 2-part documentary, and kind of in his own words. I was fascinated because I got thinking about the show, and I thought, well, how hilarious would that be to have a backdrop for my painting, model building stuff that's actually like a retail hobby shop with all the paraphernalia. And it's back far enough to where I'm not going to throw paint on anything. So I'm kind of laughing at that, and that was one of the other things that crept into mind. All of the things I've changed. Getting things in order over here, and I'm still not as comfortable as I am sitting in front of this thing. So apparently I was barking up the wrong tree. I don't know. So yeah, we're on a little. Things are moving. Things are shaking. And I was excited by this. Oh, but yeah, not all spaceships. That was where I was going with this. Not all spaceships. What's another good Oh, Stephanie's got the good non-spaceship. We have... Oh my gosh. Dun dun dun. I love some of these. Oh boy. I do have a Cylon up there for crying out loud, but yes, we've got some Lost in Space. Actually, Steve Iverson sent this to me. I was really thrilled. That was really cool. After I worked with him, I think with the on the Guillotine project, we've got some kaiju. We've got some Ultraman. We've got some Gamera and one of the Gamera bad guys, and oh my gosh. One of the giant robots. This was, what was this one called? I forget again. Calamity, I think, was the name of this one. It's the same as the regular giant robot. It has a decal for the front, so it'll be appearing as the regular giant robot. Yeah. So, I'm not going to take every model off the shelf, I swear. And, of course, because I am such a nerd, who wouldn't want to build one of these? I know, it's another spaceship. I know it's another spaceship. But, there are some, though, that, in the midst of all of the other finds. What am I knocking over now? Oh, for God's sake. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. I'm going to do that one. Oh, I primed this one. I don't know if this is going to be easy to see. This is, yeah, okay, there we go. If I put him in front of my face and over there, this would be the Scrat from Ice Age. And it's got his tail, a little tail. The base is the acorn in the thing here. And I think I've got his little paws and little teeth and things. Oh, well, anyway. Yeah, so... Great hilarity. So yeah, they're not all spaceships. There's some fun stuff in here. Stephanie's got one, but I want to let her build it. It was gosh, I should probably go get it. No, I forget where it is now. We have one of the Wallace and Gromit models, and I think Airfix made those. It's it's the one where he's in like the little, is it the little plane? I think, I can't remember, with a sidecar. It's really adorable. So, yeah, there's a few of those. And the hair. The hair is going away, by the way. Yes, that'll be going away very soon. There were, yeah, so I got a lot of Japanese kits. There's some cars. I realized at one point that while I no longer own a Pontiac Firebird 1997 Formula in black, this Lindbergh kit is a really great rendition of it, and I have 2 of them, so we are good to go. Yeah. Not only that, we got the Smokey and the Bandit version. I was actually, there was a contest, model contest. I was going to turn it into like a Mad Max car, but I never finished it. Oh, sweet lordy. We have fire chicken decals. We've got a good fire. I got to build that. I got to build it into the Smokey and the Bandit car because you gotta. Gotta build the car. My gosh. Anyway, yeah. Fun with models, right? Okay. Bum ba dum bum bum bum. And oh yes. I think Andrew would like. I did find all my Galactica models, by the way. So we've got the Colonial one. Both flavors of Viper that come with a great background scene. Here's the Mark II. I think that was your favorite, Andrew, if I'm not mistaken. The Mark II also has a nice background scene. And this one kills me. This is one of the last ones. This is one of the last ones that I didn't finish, which is really unfortunate. Oh yeah, that's where that ended up. Bum 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 ba bum bum ba bum bum bum. One's Cylon Base Star in resin. Ha ha ha! All right, let me get this one ready. Give me a minute here. I need my stuff. I don't have any control over the live stream whatsoever, and it's really annoying me. Okay, that's okay. You can do without control for a little while. Just give me a second. Give me a second. I think I can. I think I can. This I'm about to show you is one of the later models by Mobius, and man, oh man, the car Holy Grail. My car Grail kit right now is the Oshima Mad Max Interceptor. Had one, got it stolen from your storage unit. Oh my gosh. Actually, that reminds me. I think I sold. Mediocre. I think I sold mine. If I could find it, I'll let you know. But oh, let me do it. Yeah, no, that's the proper way. There we go. Yes. No, it would be this way to you. There we go. Yes, and tilted properly. There we go. So the Galactica. Yes. Let's do that. Oh, no engines! No engines! Oh, shit! We forgot our engines! There's engines. This is a great model, and it just really is at paint job stage. I remember when people were importing the Australian Falcon to make Mad Max clones. Oh, Andrew, remember we visited that one? That was in Puyallup, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was wild. He had, gosh... He had 2 Junkers that he just got that were kind of this. They were one of the alternate versions of that car, and then one that was fully in there. Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. That was very cool. Yeah, I think that was one of the last long trips that my Firebird took, Andrew. It was after that I started seeing a lot of issues with its, in general. Yes. I forgot the original Galactica never had the retractable pods. Never did. But it was implied, right? So, yeah. Okay, let's see. And then again, resin. Where did that one go? Is that this one right here? Is that... No. Oh my gosh. I do have quite a lot of Galactica, I will say. I took the Firebird. We did. It was dying. Here's a Mark II Viper kit that fell into my possession at one point. Where's all the stuff? Yeah, this one's going to be a good size model too. This is going to be a very good size. This is technically what they call studio scale, right? Oh wow, this even has... Oh, I even have the decal sheet. Holy shit. Oh, hello, baby. That's a good decal sheet, too. Oh, I'll bet this is... I'll bet this is J-Bot's work. That fucker. No, sorry. Anyway. It's a guy that makes all these fantastic decals, but he doesn't clear coat any of them, so the minute you put them in water, they just vanish. It's hilarious. This one's gonna be a good kit. Yes, the good ones. But yeah, and then sort of wrapping up our little. I want to pull this one out. As we get into fall, I know the hair. Jesus. I've got this Legend of Sleepy Hollow kit that Polar Lights put out. This one's a challenge, but I've seen it built up and it looks really good. And this box is full of styrene. We've got the Bela Lugosi Dracula. I've been wanting to build this guy forever with this crazy... Look at the back of this thing. Look at the crazy art on the back of this box. Awesome. But yeah, so I have some of these monster horror kits, which is going to be a lot of fun. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Where did those go? I don't want to deal with that anymore. I'll put those away later. And for those of you who have enjoyed the Alien movies, and I hope you did as much as I do, I have some of these lovely kits. This is that space jockey dude that they found in the Alien Derelict. This is a cute little kit. It's vinyl. Has some great detail. And then a 1-to-1 scale, full-size alien facehugger that I avoided building because both of my daughters and my wife hate spiders, and this thing's freaky as shit when put together. It is, hopefully, it is in good place. They, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's not a finger. Give me a finger, you bastards. Boink. Give me another finger. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is disgusting. Ah! Okay, so yeah, one of these. With a giant tail, too. Haha. So yeah. Oh, God, it smells like vinyl. Glad that it didn't like melt and decay over the years. So yeah. There, those things freak me out. I got a crazy idea with that one, Andrew. A friend of mine, Joe, he built his. We got him the same year at Wonderfest, but they made the kit with 2 different kinds of vinyl. The one I have is kind of flexible vinyl. It's bendy. Which is a great choice, right? His, though, was really kind of hard vinyl. So in his case, he kind of had to pose it, and you couldn't really articulate it. Mine, I could articulate. You could use your moon as a background of that Sleepy Hollow kit. The Coronis, excellent idea. Excellent idea. I love that mediocre, and that shop that we got this from has probably 20 more of those things. So I'm kind of thinking if I can scrape up a few pennies, onto the couch, I might have to swing up there and pick up a few more of them. But yeah, that kind of thing. Dioramas, right? Like little dioramas. I see, even at this year's Wonderfest, and I did actually watch all the models, there are only a couple. And there's a diorama category. I'm going to leave them out. But in terms of presentation of models, a lot of times it's just kind of a stand. And then you get somebody that does a stand that's integrated with it, and that's pretty cool. But it's rarely like a stand with a background that makes it feel like a finished piece. And I noticed a few this year that did that. It's very rare. But even if it is just a model sitting on a table, I think there's still a little opportunity there to make it, to nicen it up. And that's one of the reasons why I'm sort of trying to also pull together the woodworking tools. And this was knocked together. I knocked this together in an hour or two with some scrap shiplap, I think it was. This is like the end of a shiplap wall. It's got the groove in it. And I just thought, you know what? I don't have a table saw. I don't have a miter saw, anymore. Unfortunately, we gave it away before we moved, which was stupid, but it was an old piece of shit anyway. But I do have a circular saw that can go to 45. So with a little creative clamping, I was able to pull this off. And, you know, it's not great. It's barely, I just basically glued it up. Proof of concept, right? Can you do it? Yes. Great. Awesome. You know, I'll improve it. We've got some really cool, the garage has some pretty cool hunks of wood just laying out there. And, yeah. One of the things even Stephanie wants to get into is doing actual woodwork. She wants to build some furniture. She wants to build shelves. She wants to build good stuff. Her family is certainly, you know, she grew up with people that do that. Her dad is a master woodworker on a level that is amazing. So anyhow, as we go forward, you know, we're getting through the move. We're getting through the, hi, I'm still broke because I got rid of all the money that I had from the move. And we're spinning things up. But it's coming together. And this is cool. I'm actually very excited. And I'm kind of glad, you know, I planned a bunch of things that didn't quite pan out the way I planned. And that's fine. I'm kind of okay with that. So now I'm taking the other approach of let's just, all right, let it go. See what comes together, and I'm noticing that things like this, what normally would look like just a stack of models like on a shelf, I feel like this is a piece of what's coming together, and yeah, I think it's the right direction. It feels right. Also, it's terribly convenient because if somebody were setting out to build a YouTube channel where they feature many spaceship and rare model kits being built into a diorama that's clever, I have the first part of it out of the way. Like I have the expensive part out of the way, right? I have to put in the time part. So it's incredibly convenient. Someone said earlier, it might be cool to have a model with a painted space art background in a deep shadow box. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yeah. In fact, I thank you, Gold Dragon. Seriously, there's a shadow box idea I've been dying to do for a year, and it's based off of one of the old Star Trek books. And in fact, one of the reasons I did this is actually going to be the base for my Corsair. But one of the reasons I made it the way I made it was I need to be able to build shadow boxes, and I need to be able to build them at multiple depths, and I need to be able to route out places for acrylic panels and backgrounds and places to hide lights and other effects. And yes, the backgrounds will be painted, and painted well, and painted, you know, I would love to do the bridge of the Enterprise in Simpsons colors and shapes with this character as the captain, or something similar, right? You know, sorry, this one. Yes, this one, not this one. How about a scene from Blue Velvet in Simpsons background? So yeah, hey, Raoul Duke, good to see you, pal. How you doing? Welcome aboard. Welcome to the model shop. Welcome to the biggest science fiction hobby shop in the Oil City, Franklin, Pennsylvania region. Yes, exactly. I'm serious. The guy at Wide Bridge Hobby, he'd be thrilled if he had a model shop as big as mine. So yeah, no. Hey, Iridium, how you doing? Thanks for dropping by. I haven't forgotten. I owe you and Matt a message, so thank you. Happy Friday. Hope everything's going well. We're just hanging out in my basement, mulling over the projects that may be coming up. But I do actually think that the Diva here is going to have to be. I got to do the Diva. We got to do the Diva. We need the Diva in the house, I think, because that will look great. It's really fun. And then, like, I had this old Enterprise model that was one of the old AMT kits, right? That I actually took some time and did some upgraded bits to it. I don't have the engines glued in yet because these things are solid. What did I do with this? Yeah, there's like brass. There's brass tubing embedded in the stock. I filled this stock. What little airspace there was is filled with CA glue. This thing is solid as you can get, which was not the case for the old kits. Not only that, but I really, inside the model, I built up a huge spine of styrene. This thing will never crack, I swear. It fits in just fine. Whoa, sorry. Falls out because it's just slip fitted, but the thing was, like, you could hold the model up with the nacelle. Why would anybody go to these lengths? Because this model was notorious for falling apart under its own weight. It was, you're really talking thin, hollow styrene pieces in all shapes and corners that would always fall apart. Even if it was just sitting on the shelf, the thing would just like gradually droop over time. And, it was just warmth. Harbor Freight is the poor man's tool mecca. It is. Our favorite saying is Harbor Freight's great for a tool you only need once. But yeah, I actually did some accurizing work. I carved in the proper 3 rings. The little nipple on the bottom here is actually a nice little aftermarket piece that I think I made that, actually, now that I think of it. There's both. I have it covered up, but there's actually detail. Let's pull it off. I'm going to pull it off. I haven't seen this thing in years. Hang tight, folks. Oh, hello. Blimey. Now it'll be impossible to see. Oh my god, how much of this shit did I put in here? Wait, do I have anything that'll pull this thing out? I don't have a single model tool over here. For God's sakes, it's all in the other room. It's on the build side. Okay, well, what do I have? Anything. God, I did it load. It's going to make me mental. Anyway, there is a little bridge inside of here. It's covered with tape. Watch it. This isn't going to do. Hang tight. Bum, 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 bum. Keep them busy. Pardon me. Don't pull that out. This will not do. Okay. Mission accomplished. Bum, bum. Read better with this. That's cool. Bum bum. I've always heard buy it cheap at Harbor Freight and use it enough to break it, and a good replacement from elsewhere. That's perfect. Let's see if I can catch this in here. There, and then rotate. There's a little bridge in there. I don't know if it's visible. I know what I'm going to do. Hang tight, folks. Oh, wrong button, Chris. Let's try it this way first. Okay. I'm going to pull this in. Come on, baby. You can focus on me. Focus. Ah, yes. Silly. Doesn't want to focus at all. Anyway. Let me see if I can. I think it's focusing behind everything, or I'm too close. Yes, maybe I'm too close. Anyway. Bummer. Okay. I'll try to take a photo. Yep. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, fun times. So unfinished, obviously, and I have a number of parts for it, and instead of my original intention was to try to make it look like the proper USS Enterprise as best as I could, given the geometry shortcomings of this kit that are well known. This one I've actually got a very special variation of the Enterprise in mind. And some of the other models that I've presented here this evening afternoon, on a Friday afternoon, I also have some pretty crazy plans for. And since I am needing to push my Patreon a little further because I'm being a dick about it and whatever, I am actually going to be starting a secret project. Yes, you heard me right. It is a secret project whose progress shall only be shared on my Patreon. Yeah, I'm going to be a dick about it. I may do some. There will be updates for the members only live streams that are here, but I need to do a couple of secret projects, and I feel like maybe the best way for me to do it is that would be perfect for Patreon. These will be big projects. These will be things that I feel will be in the category of could be. How do I put this without sounding like a complete ass? These are kind of like the North Star projects. Oh my God, I sounded like an ass. I sounded like I was just in freaking Microsoft. The North Star. No, it was Expedia that was using the North Star horse shit. God, that guy was an idiot. Oh my God. Anyway, yes, the North Star. Anyway, big projects that these aren't going to be I'm going to pick a model and paint it and it's secret because I'm painting it. No, this is going to be an extension of that. This is where we're going to be getting into, yes, it's kind of a diorama and a scene and there's something fun happening. Something fun that is unique. What do I mean by that? Even though this is kind of just this thing is kind of a semi, it kind of works, not really sure. It's definitely unique. Hey, Rachel, how you doing? Good to see you. How's your Friday going, Rachel? Welcome aboard. Yeah, we're sitting in my basement. This is my model shop. I was trying to make it look like one of the displays at Wonderfest because I couldn't go this year. So yeah, here we go. Anyway, so big secret projects will be the things that. Yes, I will be shooting them for YouTube, of course, but I will only be sharing the process on Patreon because they're the kind of things that, like, I when I get back to Wonderfest, I want some kind of special projects to go along with the fact that I'm committing a rather large portion of my creative energy and, to building something that could be special and maybe not entirely what anyone would expect. Without revealing what it is, I hate to be cryptic, but none of this bit that I've been doing on here has been like for naught. There have been big plans, yes, exactly. But yeah, this is the basement. Yay! I like having this area open now because I have been feeling the need to maybe do a little something different for the studio, if you will. Maybe my keeping it all together over there is the wrong approach. We'll see. But anyhow, it's our Friday afternoon in the model shop. And honestly, there's so many of these. Like, it drives me crazy because I see something just sitting here casually, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool if, and that's kind of like, typical problem for those of us who are kind of nerding out and ADHD with this kind of stuff. You see something and you want to jump on it. Oh yes. Holy cow! Actually got to log in from the PDR of Washington. How are you doing? Greetings, Blue Northwest. You guys are missed at the farmers market. Oh, thank you. We miss the farmers market. We really do. We miss being out there. I got to be honest with you. As much as we've enjoyed our new location, we miss the Pacific Northwest. We miss Lake Forest Park. We miss all of you guys. It was really fantastic, and thank you for joining on here. I love it. Oh, Rachel says, working like crazy. Just celebrated your 4-year wedding anniversary on Saturday. Well, congratulations to you and Joshua. That is fantastic. Fantastic. I think it is Joshua. Oh my God, if it's a different person, I'm going to feel terrible. No. All right, we're going to delete that part of the live stream. Congratulations, Rachel. Sorry. I'm just laughing about that. I'm congratulating somebody and then saying a completely different name. Congratulations, you and somebody else. And then the real husband's like, what the actual... What's he talking about? What the... No, no. Okay, no, I wouldn't do that. That'd be mean. Oh my gosh. The model shop reminds me of Ray Bradbury's basement. Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh my gosh. I would have loved to have just hung out with Ray. Well, who is it? Dave Conover, I think, used to write letters to him and visited him a couple of times. Dave Conover's a guy I know from the Wonderfest crew. He built the show. He was he was one of the higher ups, if I'm not mistaken, in there. You had a coworker move to Romania. Ooh, oh my gosh. Yeah, I used to work with a couple of folks from Romania. I've heard it was it's gorgeous, absolutely fantastic. That would be very cool. But yeah, the Ray Bradbury's basement, and kind of like what were kind of the shows where they're like, oh, what are we gonna start today, kids? Oh, today will be the Earth Alliance Buck Rogers Starfighter, which, oh, he has another one, Blappy. Oh my gosh, if Dave's still out there, I know he worked on that one. And then you cut to the actual building of the project, right? Yeah. Maybe that's where we'll go with it. I don't know. We're going to find out together. Because I am just letting this roll for the next 6 months to a year. And kind of, Raul Duke, like Twilight Zone, or what was the other, Night Gallery. There was Night Galleries where you would go through and pick a painting, and it would turn into the TV show, the episode of the TV show, which was really cool. So yeah, but yeah, welcome again to my basement on a Friday afternoon. This is working out quite well. Oh, maybe Stephanie got home. Maybe that's what I heard. Anyhow, I hope your Friday afternoon is going well as well. And the models, like I said, part of it is the excitement of seeing them. Part of it is, hey, I cleared out a ton of space in here because I just don't have the boxes sitting around. They're nicely packed away. And now I'm seeing the potential of the extra volume of space as it would impact everything else. So anyhow, I guess at this point, it's almost 5 my time, 2 hours in. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I really appreciate it. This has been a fantastic afternoon. And I'm just gonna call it. I gotta walk back over to the other side to do everything. So I want to thank you all for joining me on another Friday. We will be back to doing painting and building. I just had this idea today that I thought this would be kind of a fun hangout, and having just kind of pulled all this together, I thought it would be kind of fun to show everyone. And yeah, I got me some models to build. Hopefully it'll be as much fun for all of you. Anyhow, everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we will talk to you next week. And I'm gonna, thank you for showing up, Rachel. And then I just walk away. Hey, thanks for showing up, Rachel. I'm leaving now. Goodbye. Yep, there we go. No, I'm just kidding. I get to about the 2 hour point, and I'm kind of maxed out. So yeah. Alrighty. Thank you again, everyone. I'm gonna saunter on out, and I'll leave you with the diva here. There we go. All right, everyone. Take care. Stay safe. Don't be mean to anyone, unless they deserve it. Ed, watch out for cats.
All right, so I've taken my white paint with my little fan brush here, and let's just see how crazy this goes. This is where I throw paint everywhere. that just kind of gives it an air of legitimacy that it doesn't deserve. You know?
I have Bob Ross the shit out of this painting.
You know?